What was all that argy-bargy about last night? Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. My wife said chop chop, but I dilly-dallied because I didn't want to have a chit-chat with her sister and hear stories of hanky-panky. I mean, jeepers creepers. I would rather listen to her friends' mumbo-jumbo monologues, and she gives me the heebie-jeebies. Welcome back to English with Greg, and today we are looking at the funniest sounding words in English. This is part 2 of a 2-part video. We've already looked at 15 very funny words in English, and today we are looking at 15 more. Before we do, if you like this video and want to help my channel, please click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you get notified of my weekly videos. Those 3 things really help me. This lesson comes with a free PDF worksheet, so you can download that by clicking the link in the description, where you will have a copy of all of these words and the words from the other lesson from part 1, all in a nice, neat little PDF for your reference. So click the link in the description to get that, and let's go with today's lesson. Number 1 is heebie-jeebies. Heebie-jeebies. If something gives you the heebie-jeebies, it makes you a little bit afraid, anxious, like how you would feel if you walk through a cemetery at night. You know that nothing is going to happen, but it gives you the heebie-jeebies. It makes you feel a little bit anxious and uncomfortable and a little bit afraid. If something makes you feel like that, it gives you the heebie-jeebies. Great expression. The next one is one of the funniest sounding words in English for me, and it is higgledy-piggledy. Higgledy-piggledy. I love this word. And this adjective describes something that is not organized, not in a defined order. So let's imagine you have 20 books. Okay, they're all different shapes and sizes, tall ones, small ones, fat ones, thin ones. Now, you could put those books on a shelf in like height order or alphabetical order. When I want to make some books look tidy on a shelf, I tend to put them in order of height, big ones, and then they gradually get smaller and smaller. However, if you really don't care about that sort of thing, you could just put them in all higgledy-piggledy. Okay? Put them in higgledy-piggledy. In any order. It doesn't matter. Just disorganized and in no particular order. The next word is easy-peasy. And easy-peasy just means easy. It's an expression we use just to say very easy. Easy-peasy. And if you want to say that something is even easier than easy peasy, we have a beautiful expression which is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It just means very, very, very easy. But why say that when you have a wonderful expression like this? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, the next funny word is argy-bargy. And argy-bargy means a loud argument, maybe a small fight. You're in your bedroom at night and maybe you hear in the street, you hear people shouting late at night, and you say, what was all that argy-bargy last night? What was that loud argument last night? What was all the noise? What was all the shouting? What was the argy-bargy? Argy-bargy. Okay, another of the funniest words in English is hanky-panky. Now, hanky-panky is not specific, but it's just anything sexual that can happen between 2 people. So we're not talking about one specific thing, but just hanky-panky. So, how was the date? Did you get any hanky-panky? Hanky-panky. Okay, the next one is hodgepodge. Hodgepodge is a noun and it is a disorganized collection of things. For example, I have a hodgepodge of foreign coins in my top drawer. I have a hodgepodge of foreign coins in my top drawer. You might have a hodgepodge of buttons in a box, a hodgepodge of pens and pencils in a bag. The next funny English word is mumbo jumbo. And mumbo jumbo really means nonsense. And we usually use it to describe spiritual or superstitious ideas. Like, oh, I don't want to talk to her. She just tells me mumbo jumbo stories all the time. I'm not interested in your mumbo jumbo. Mumbo jumbo. The next two are exclamations, like wow. One is Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers. It's just a really cool, funny way to say wow as an exclamation in English. And the next one is holy moly. A mole is a little blind animal that lives underground. You sometimes find them making a little hill in your garden. That is a mole. And holy moly. It's a beautiful expression to describe shock and amazement. Like, wow, holy moly. The next funny English word is nitty gritty. Nitty gritty. And this usually comes in the expression, let's get down to the nitty gritty. And this means let's not talk about the general details, let's just talk about the most important practical details of this conversation. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. So you get a new computer and I say, hey, listen, I'm not going to get down to the nitty gritty now because I don't have time. But just generally, this is how you go on the internet and this is how you open your email. We'll get down to the nitty gritty tomorrow. Okay, the most specific details, the nitty gritty. Or if somebody's telling you a really interesting story and they're not getting to the point, you could say, come on, tell me the nitty gritty. Tell me the most important details of this story. Nitty gritty. The next one is okie dokie. And okie dokie is simply another way of saying okay. Okie dokie. One funny English expression is chop chop. Chop chop. And if you say chop chop to somebody, you mean hurry up. It's just another way of saying hurry up. Come on. Chop chop. The opposite of that is to dilly-dally. And if you dilly-dally, it means you go slowly. Dilly-dally, it's like the word delay. Dilly-dally. And it means go slowly. I remember when I was a little boy and I was slow leaving the house, my mother would always say to me, come on, don't dilly-dally, chop chop. We then have chit-chat. And a chit-chat is just another word for a chat, an informal talk with somebody. Like, do you want to come to my house for a cup of coffee and a chit chat? Do you want to come to my house for a cup of coffee and a chit chat? A chit chat. It just means a nice, casual, informal chat or talk with a friend. Chit chat. Chit chat is similar to flip flop. And flip flop is a common word that you might already know. It's the type of sandals that you wear to the beach. And I like this word because flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, that is actually the sound that flip flops make when you are walking. Flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. Okay, before I tell you the last funniest sounding English word, make sure you watch part 1 after you've watched this video. There will be a link at the end of this video, there will be a link in the description, and you can click up there too. So, the last funny English word is knick-knack. And a knick-knack is a small object that is not very expensive, not valuable. It's usually just ornamental, just that you put it on a shelf in your house, but doesn't really have a purpose. A knick-knack. I remember when I was a kid, every year when I went on holiday, I would buy lots and lots of knick-knacks, like little souvenirs, little figures. Holy moly, there is a box somewhere in my house with a hodgepodge of foreign knick-knacks. Knick-knacks. Okay, so before we finish, let's have another look at the sentence I told you at the beginning of this lesson. And now, let's have a look how much you understand. What was all that argy-bargy about last night? What was all that argy-bargy about last night? Argy-bargy, loud, noise, argument. Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Nitty-gritty, the most important details of this story. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. My wife said chop chop. In other words, my wife wanted me to be quick. She said hurry, but I dilly-dallied. I went slowly because I didn't want to have a chit-chat with her sister and hear stories of hanky-panky. Because I didn't want to talk to her sister and hear about her sexual stories. I mean, jeepers creepers. I mean, wow, come on. I would rather listen to her friends' mumbo-jumbo monologues. In other words, I would rather listen to her friend telling me about her spiritual or superstitious beliefs. And she gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, and she and her stories make me feel a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit like anxious and freaked out, and I don't really know what to say. Okay, easy. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out the description where you can download the free PDF of these words. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.